present. Closing your eyes and relaxing. Putting aside any other thoughts or to-do lists that you have. This is your sacred time to be here. Begin breathing very naturally. As Seth will start his didgeridoo and sound healing to align our bodies to the energetic space that we're about to create. 3 rounds of the sacred Ho'oponopono breathing. We breathe in for a count of 7. Hold it for a count of 7. Slowly release for a count of 7. Hold the empty for a count of 7. If you would like to practice this at home, it's recommended to do 7 rounds, but we'll do 3 here to acclimate to the idea. So taking in a breath, taking it in slowly, going in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowly releasing, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And hold the empty, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again in. Hold. Release. Hold. And in. Hold. Release. And hold. And resume normal, relaxed breathing. Feel your spine slightly curved at the base. Your chin tucked slightly so that your crown chakra is pointing to the heavens. Relaxed feet, relaxed hands. As we keep our bodies still, it sends the message to the mind to be still. When the mind is still, we hear spirit. We hear the voice of our higher self, our guardian angels, our spirit guides, archangels, ascended masters, starseed families, any of those who walk this journey with us, devoted to the exploration of our soul and the balancing of our karma. We are truly never alone when we quiet our mind and can hear and feel and acknowledge the presence of all of those who walk with us, interconnected, ever-present, one single thread connecting us all, the divine presence, the light, the universal intelligence, the creator of all that is, that which has 1,000 names and yet remains nameless. Stepping into that knowledge now, sense and feel the heart space energy at the center of your chest. Here, as your heart space energy expands and grows and energizes, sense this energy, this temple of light. For we are physical and etheric bodies. We are temples, we are gathering places of light. The temple of light is in your heart space energy. Feel this energy now expanding out well beyond your physical body, into your emotional body, physical body, etheric body. Recognize that you go well beyond your physical body, certainly at least 20 to 30 feet out beyond. place, a place of non-judgmental brotherhood. That energy exists in that field around you and touches all who you come in contact with. It is our divine right to feel this power. It is also our divine responsibility to emanate this feeling of love. Feeling that heart space energy going down to your base chakra, to your knees, to your feet. Feel it going into the earth, through the earth's core, into the inner mantle. Feel your heart space energy going all the way to the center of the earth, where you touch and wrap it around the crystal at the center of Gaia, grounding, deepening, becoming one. Feeling the synchronicity, the reciprocity of the relationship we have with Gaia. Knowing we have abundance beyond our imagination. For all we need, we have here the air in our lungs, the water we drink, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the shelter over our roof, all come from Gaia. We truly live in a place of abundance and limitless supply as we honor, appreciate, and send gratitude to Gaia, to Mother Earth, for providing all of us with these things. We bless her and we send her our love. And as we stay grounded and connected to Earth, feeling the heart space energy coming back up through your feet to the base of your spine, going all the way up through your chakras, coming out of the crown, going into our Earth's atmosphere, feeling your heart space energy now, climbing and going up all the way into our galaxy, our own star system. Now reaching beyond, going into all of the other star systems, all 400 billion star systems that exist as a life force energy in our Milky Way. Recognizing that not only is our heart space energy here, it is everywhere, because we are connected to the greater of all, the divine energy that gives life and connects us each to each other. We are individuals and yet simultaneously part of a whole. This is the gift of life, consciousness and connectedness, simultaneously existing. Now feeling your heart space energy expand horizontally in all directions, and as we do this, wrapping that heart space energy around Gaia, sending love, compassion, light, generosity to all beings of creation, the waters, the mountains, the air and the dirt, insects and the animals and the organisms and the humans, all of us and the etheric beings that walk with us on this earth plane, giving it all life and making our purposeful intent our blessing that all beings of creation live in peace, love, and joy. And so we repeat kirtan style those words in sacred Sanskrit of Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, and repeating Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. you raise your hands, please, just in front of you. Put your hands so they send out the energy from your heart. Picture the earth sending your love and your energy to Gaia and all her inhabitants and beings of creation. See the earth energy in harmony, clean energy, abundance for all, food for all, integrity in our commerce and government, brotherhood in our being, seeing all colors of all nations, of all people, living not in tolerance, but in acceptance. Tolerance says we forbear those who are different. Acceptance says we do not see different. We see all that is one. Celebrating our uniqueness and our separate consciousness, and yet acknowledging our oneness. Sending that out to all earth from your heart space energy. And when we do this together, we exponentiate. As we imagine this, we create this, and it's real. And relaxing your hands, coming back into breathing position. Holding this presence and gently opening your eyes whenever you are ready. It's hard to come back, isn't it? Not hard, but not preferential. I don't know about you, but today when we did the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, I felt a deeper presence and a tingling all over, more powerful than we did before. Did you feel any different?
His voice was amazing.
You went deeper today. Did you notice that? I mean, you have a deep voice anyway. You really went deeper.
And the acoustics. Really.
The acoustic, maybe it's because of the bamboo floor. Yeah, the sound is carrying. Yeah, in a week or two when we're downstairs in the 24-foot ceilings, look out. It's going to reverberate off the walls. We have a smaller crowd today. What happened here? And sleeping in.
Probably the workshop yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We had the workshop all day yesterday and then the event last night. Everybody's sleeping in.
That was really good, that workshop.
Was it?
Really
I heard
good.
it was really beautiful.
No, the one you did.
Oh, the one, oh.
Were you present?
The one last night with Isabella and Deborah.
She was channeling.
That was good too.
She was channeling. She doesn't know what she said.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you.
I taught my conscious practitioner course yesterday. Dan's been to it last time, the time before, and Ron's been to it.
First one.
You've been to it as well, yeah. Oh, and Ron's been to it. Yeah. I spent all day talking to people about stepping into their power as light workers and getting into that place. I almost got through the day without crying. But a woman came in yesterday, Susie McIntosh, just eccentric, hilarious, and lovely. And she told us that the spirits have been waiting for us to come to this building. And I said, yeah, I know that the vortexes had been opened in each room. And she said, no, the Native American spirits that were buried on this land have been waiting for us to be here. And it just, my whole body shuddered when she said that. It was really beautiful. It's really interesting, we've been here 2 weeks yesterday, and yet it feels like we've been here forever. And the feeling in the building is just, we're all in awe, and it's still so new, and people are still discovering that we're here, and we have so much work to do with PR and letting people know we have this presence here. But it's all good. It's going to happen. I love having the windows open today and getting all the light in. So this is Buddha's loft. This is normally for yoga and for expressive dance and qigong, but it is our temporary sanctuary, hopefully only for 1 more week. We did get the inspectors and the contractors to agree on all the final things that need to be done in the sanctuary, so now it's just a matter of getting the workers in, so hopefully that's all going to move forward very quickly now. It was important to have it be safe. Last week we brought in Kuan Yin. Her energy was so amazing and beautiful. Vansel, who isn't here today, he's down in Encinitas. I always love when he comes up to me after service, because whoever it is that we bring in, he always sees them standing behind me. Not that I need the confirmation, it's just nice to know, and he said that he saw her standing behind me with all of her beautiful robes, and the dragon was there. Today we're bringing in Saint Germain. Everybody's heard of Saint Germain? A little bit. I knew that he was an ascended master, and I knew that he was keeper of the 7th Kohan ray of light and the violet flame. What I didn't know was that he is somebody who has had multiple incarnations in this lifetime. And I had been told a while ago that there are 3 kinds of people that are here on this earth. There are those that have had very short amount of incarnations that are new souls, that are, if they were to do past life regressions, they might maybe only pick up maybe a half a dozen. So they're new souls that are still learning and growing and exploring. And they are actually perhaps some of our younger minds, the ones that are not governed by burdens of bitterness and fear. They are feeling like when you meet them, they're kind of childlike because they haven't had so many lifetimes of trauma. And there are those that have been here longer, that are older souls. And we hear these people, we know them, we can look in their eyes and we know, oh, it's an old soul. And they've been here and they've had hundreds and hundreds of incarnations. And they bring wisdom and yet a sadness, because they've seen so much of the 2,000 years of the Piscean age and all of the traumas that have happened in this earth plane. And there are those that have been ascended masters that have come in, and they have, as they've had their embodiments into the human life, they've also maintained their knowledge of the connection to the divine. We know a lot of these people. Kuan Yin was one, of course. Jesus of Nazareth, who embodied the Christ consciousness. Muhammad, Moses, Confucius, Tao. So many ascended masters, Buddha, that while they were here, they knew and had a vital connection to the divine. And Saint Germain was one of them. And I was really surprised, and yet not surprised, as I found these websites that cohesively confirmed all of the incarnations that he's had. So you might be surprised by some of his embodiments. He started in the Golden Age civilization in the Sahara Desert 70,000 years ago as a high priest on Atlantis. That was 13,000 years ago, serving in the order of Lord Zadkiel in the Temple of Purification, located in what's now Cuba. He was Hesiod in circa 700 BC in Greece as a poet, whose writings serve as a major source of the prophet Samuel in the 11th century. He was a religious leader in Israel. He was Plato in 427 to 347 BC Greece. He studied with students of Pythagoras and Crotona and scholars in Egypt. And he established his own school of philosophy at the Academy in Athens. He was Saint Joseph in the 1st century AD of Nazareth, and he was the husband of Mary and guardian of Jesus. He was Saint Alban, the 2nd and the 3rd century AD in the town of Verulamium, renamed St. Albans in Hertfordshire, which is where my in-laws were from.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's where I was married, actually.
You were married in St. Albans? In Hertfordshire?
In
England?
Hertfordshire. Yeah.
Really? In that big cathedral?
No, a small one.
A cathedral in St. Albans is huge.
Yeah, I had to register there.
He was Merlin, 70 years after his embodiment as Alban. And he returned as Merlin, and he assisted King Arthur at Camelot and inspired the establishment of the Order of Knights of the Round Table. He was Proclus, the last major Greek Neoplatonic philosopher who headed the Platonic Academy in Athens and wrote extensively on philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, and grammar. He was Roger Bacon, a philosopher, educational reformer, and experimentalist scientist in England. He was Christopher Columbus, who discovered the United States and worked under King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. He was Sir Francis Bacon, who apparently was the illegitimate child of Queen Elizabeth and sent to live with the Bacon family. And he is actually supposedly the one who was credited with Shakespeare's plays. Shakespeare was given the information from him and asked to pen it because Sir Francis Bacon didn't want to be known for those plays. When he died as Sir Francis Bacon, he did what they call the false death, where they never actually found his body. And his next and final incarnation was Count Saint-Germain, born in Romania to the Rákóczi prince. And this is where there were the most writings on him. In the courts in England and under Louis XV's courts, they called him the wonder of Europe and the man who never died. And he never ate at all of these feasts in the court. They always noticed he would sit in a corner and have a little bit of vegetables and a little bit of chicken, but he never gorged himself the way the courtiers did. All of the people in court said they had known him for 50 years and he always looked the same. He was the man that they said never aged and never died. He spoke in languages at the court where everybody said, he's Spanish, he's Portuguese, he's French, he's English, because all of his languages to whoever he spoke to in that native tongue sounded like it was his mother language. He never answered questions about where he was born and how old he was and where he was from. And that was his last incarnation here on earth. As his final attempt, he worked with the French king, trying to avoid the revolution, coaching the king on being more concerned about the people of France. And so his final earthly incarnation was the Count of Saint-Germain, and that's why he's called that. He is also known as the God of Freedom, the image we call Uncle Sam, Kohan of the Seventh Ray, Lord of the Seventh Ray, Hierarch of the Aquarian Age. He stands for freedom, mercy, forgiveness, ceremony, sacred ritual, justice, and alchemy. He's the keeper of the violet flame and the purple flame. He is the angel of the violet flame and the violet ray. He recognizes and comes in as the angel of freedom and the angels of the Maltese Cross. If you'd like to connect with his energy directly, go to the Cave of Symbols in the Table Mountain near Jackson Hole in Wyoming. He also uses the retreat of the Great Divine Director in the Makosi Mansion in Transylvania, which was the place of his birth in his last incarnation. The World Teton Retreat in the Grand Teton Jackson Hole and the Cave of Light in India. This is a keeper of light, an ascended master who came and embodied all of these highly influential people in our history. Never were bodies found of all of these people that he incarnated. If you look at history, they simply disappeared because he never really actually died. He simply left one identity and emerged someplace else as a grown man with a new identity, kind of creating records. He was the embodiment of an immortal here on earth, doing everything he could to create enlightenment here and to be a guiding force. And so we're going to ask Saint Germain to come out here. Okay? This is usually it's usually for me. We have ascended masters that guide us in this way, that protect us, teach us. And they, although they are not here present in physical body anymore, we can call their energy in. You see, when we work with ascended masters, they are not necessarily our spirit guides, but we can call them in whenever we need their guidance. And when you feel that you've heard a name, and today, those of you that are here are the ones who are meant to connect with Saint Germain today, in this place, in this room. And so I can already feel his presence here. We're going to call him in and ask us to give us each a message to touch our hearts, to give us some kind of wisdom that we need right here today. He is all about the integrity of man, he tells me, and all of his dealings. And if you look at Shakespeare's play, wasn't there always trouble afoot when somebody went out of integrity? And in the serious ones, those that went out of integrity always had the demise. And in the more playful plays, those that lacked integrity always came full circle and then always set right. He is a moral guidance. He guides us to always walk with integrity, to think of the whole. He also tells me now that he was the philosopher Immanuel Kant, who created the categorical imperative, meaning that when you do something, ask yourself, if I do this, how would the world that I see and live in look and feel and be if everybody else did the same thing? So if you were to throw a piece of trash on the floor, on the ground outside, what would your world look like if everybody else did the same thing? And so you use your moral compass, the categorical imperative. It is imperative that you categorically place all of your actions on a worldwide level and ask yourself, is this the world I want to create by doing this action? It's a greater moral compass than the Golden Rule. And he's telling me that he was the keeper of that philosophy as well, and worked with the embodiment of Immanuel Kant to create that. And he asks those of us that are here today to simply not embody integrity and moral compass, to be keepers of it and send it out to those around us, to embody that, to talk about it, to gather it, to send it out there, to be that light. So closing your eyes and relaxing. And if you so choose, because your personal sovereignty is your divine right, your highest and best will, Nothing can happen to you without your consent. This is the secret of the universe that we bring to all mankind, the knowledge of your free will. So, if it is your free will to bring in Saint Germain into your heart, and all that he embodies, his divine sacred male, because males have sacred male energy, but we as females also have sacred male energy. Bringing in the highest level of moral compass into your heart. Knowing what it feels like to always do the thing that is right for you, for the earth, and all those who live here. Because earth vibrational energy goes out into the universe beyond. To embrace this and to hold your moral compass without arrogance or pride or self-righteousness or judgment. Simply to hold it, knowing that by holding it in a sacred space, the flames of the violet light and love exist within you. When you embrace the violet flames of light and love, you are balanced, clear, cognizant, aware. Small thoughts do not govern you, only those of the highest realm govern your guidance. Asking his energy to come in, bringing with him his knowledge that he so generously and lovingly imparts on you now, should you wish to receive it, on philosophy, science, math, alchemy, humor, expression, art, dance, health, wealth, a state of observation without judgment, connecting with people, and yet not being taken in, holding sacred space with all around you, having a maternal and a paternal love for all, providing, nurturing, being someone who understands that we all need guidance and support and love. As you embrace all of the scientists that he embodied, the musicians, the magicians, scientists, and mathematicians, opening all of your chakras now, having this information come in and dance with the light of acceptance into all of your neural pathways, bringing the knowledge of this energy into your heart space and your crown chakra. Allowing all of your cells and your DNA to be written to receive all of this information. He imparts these gifts on any who ask and are willing to accept the knowledge that he has accumulated in all of his wise lifetimes. And he tells me he has had similar lifetimes of incarnations in multiple dimensions, multiple lives. And that was with what he brought to the earth plane, the knowledge of those incarnations from so many places of time and dimension. He says, if you have a question now, you can ask it in your mind. He will hear this question and provide the answer to you. And you will simply know the that you trust this answer comes from Him. He says, "Do not worship me, I am not a god. I am simply a very old and wise man who wishes to share my wisdom with any who would ask." He is a master of light and love. He embraces wisdom and knowledge and awareness as a way to allow our heart to feel love and emotion without pain, so that we can give it freely and easily and without regret. He wears a beautiful purple cape that He asks, if you wish, He will wrap around you now, so that you can feel the light and the love of everything He offers. He acknowledges you, thanks you for allowing Him to come into your presence today, and asks me to remind you, you have only to call upon Him with any wish or desire of knowledge that you wish to take into your soul and carry it as a part of you. Sending our love and appreciation for His time here with us today, thanking Him. And gently coming back to the room whenever you're ready.
Say a quote from Shakespeare that somewhat stunned me. The quality of mercy is not strange, but it brought as a gentle rain from heaven upon the face of the deed. Is Christ-like. It is the deed that gives and the deed that takes.
I would love to hear that one more time. Would you say it a little slower and a little louder so we can all hear it? This is a quote from Shakespeare.
Right. It's in the response. And it's the quality of mercy is not strained, but it
The
draweth.
quality of mercy is
It's
not
not strained,
strained.
but it draweth as a gentle rain from heaven
A
upon the
drop
place
is a gentle rain from heaven
upon the place beneath.
upon the place beneath.
'Tis twice blessed.
'Tis twice blessed.
Twice blessed. And it's twice blessed. It's blessed with he that gives and he that takes.
He's blessed with he that gives and he that takes. That sounds very much like the energy that we just brought in.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
It does. Thank you for sharing that. It does. The energy is in alignment. These are the energies that we have access to. We can, of course, always use our higher self to connect to the wisdom of the universe. And as Saint Germain beckoned us not to see him as a god to be worshipped, but simply somebody who is of a very high level of vibration, who is happy to help us with any questions that we have. I felt his music and his alchemy going through. I loved that he was Merlin. I mean, we watched the show Merlin, we loved that show. And there was always something about Merlin that I loved. And when he was in the courts in France and in England, King Louis XV actually had a flawed diamond that he was holding, and Saint Germain came in and held it and removed the flaw, which is the art of alchemy. And there were in the writings it said that this had been done so many times in front of so many people that his ability to do this was irrefutable. So he was an alchemist here on earth. And isn't that what you hear me teach in all the Sunday gatherings and all the classes that I teach and all the other instructors that are here and in all the other centers? When we talk about manifestation, manifestation is simply the knowledge that we have the ability to imagine something and create it and then see it in front of us in a physical molecular form. That is simply alchemy. It is simply understanding that we have the ability to change molecular makeup of something, and it's only our limiting thoughts that tell us this isn't so. And that initial idea that you can create gold, perhaps thoughts of greed might enter at first, but when you realize that it's just molecules and it's just abundance, then this idea of living in a life without material acquisitions can come to you, because it's almost like they're there. It's not something elusive that you're trying to chase. And so the idea that you can have everything enables you to say, but I don't need it. I'll just have what I need. And if I want it, it's there. And so the ability to access all of the riches of the universe allow us to be in a place of even a more modest lifetime and life skill, because we don't need to have all of those things for satisfaction.
Or you could put it where you already have everything. And
It's already there.
There's nothing you actually need. You have it all already.
Yeah, it would be like, what would be the point of going to the grocery store and buying everything on the shelf and bringing it home and filling up your house with all of these groceries to accumulate all of that food, when we know I can go to the store every day and get what I need for that day. And so we don't live in a life of needing to accumulate masses. And yet people go and accumulate money, and they accumulate houses, and they accumulate cars and clothes, because for some reason they've got this idea that they have to get it and keep it and hold it to have it.
It's a fear.
It's fear.
It's a void that they're trying to fill.
It's a void they're trying to fill. It's fear, it's scarcity and lack and being without. But what we know, that when we're connected to a divine force, if I really, really, really wanted one, I could manifest a Rolls Royce. I don't really want one, but I know that if for some reason that was absolutely something, I could find the money, I could find the ways, I could find when I can create anything I really want. So I just simply create those things that make me happy and those things that I need. And because I know I have everything in here. And that was the message. Tingles. That's the message that he's trying to tell us, is when he lived in Saint Germain, the embodiment of Saint Germain in the courts, he was actually homeless. He said he carried all of his possessions in a small trunk and stayed from houses to houses, and he gave the appearance of being an extraordinarily wealthy man because of his clothes and his jewels. But he said, I had nothing. He said, but I lived the life of wealth because that was the life I chose to embody. But he actually didn't have. The king, Prince Rákóczi, his mansion in Transylvania was taken from him and his three sons. Saint Germain being the youngest one, they were all sent to live in the houses of Europe. They were actually homeless and penniless. But he had a few things that made him live a life of wealth. And he said, it's all an illusion. And he said, I lived a life of wealth. He said, even though, and he's telling me he never had more than a pocket full of gold coins. in his hand. Wealth is in here. Wealth is in here. Wealth is when they unite the wisdom of the heart and the mind.
That's how a lot of the masters travel through places like India. They were never concerned about that. They were always taken care of. It's like the animals in the forest. They don't worry about them getting a job.
And travel light.
They're always taken care of.
And
They don't worry
yeah.
about their next meal.
No, traveling light has a freedom. When we sold our house in Irvine, we had 1-800-GOT-JUNK come twice and filled up the truck twice as we emptied out that big house. Runs to the storage, runs to charitable, and we live in a little apartment now, and we said, let's take our favorite furniture, one set of dishes, one set of silverware, one set of pots and pans, our favorite paintings, and as we discarded all of those accumulated physical things, our whole life shifted, and it's just traveling light, having around the things that are important to you, that you need, and all of that bulk that you carry with you. I mean, and when that truck came, I was embarrassed at the board games and the thing, stuff from Target that it was just accumulated stuff that was in the house. We don't need that. One of the things I like, I think the reason why this temple feels so much nicer than the last one, we were packed in there like sardines. This one is open.
Expansion.
But we're not like filling up all the, I mean, it's open, and it has that, even though it's bigger, it feels lighter because there's breathing room and everything is open.
Spaciousness and clarity.
Spaciousness and clarity. But it feels light. And he's showing me how he's kind of cute. He's got this purple robe that he keeps like flowing around. And he's like, it's on this, and he's doing this, one of these kind of actions with it. And he's like sweeping, and he just keeps putting light on everything and telling everybody, to be in that state of higher awareness and to have that peace. Did anybody get any messages when they asked a question of him and be clear on the answer? No?
Well, my impression was it's coming. The answer's coming.
The answer's coming.
I asked for the stone.
The philosopher's stone?
Yes.
What, to hold it, to see it, to...
No, I have three experiments going on because I practice alchemy. So I asked for it.
So you asked him for the philosopher's stone? Okay. It's coming to you. In a way that you wouldn't expect. From a person that you wouldn't expect. But he's saying that it's going to come to you not in a physical form, but as energetic knowledge.
I understand. It's all one. Yeah, and it's mostly spiritual. Well, thanks.
I saw a lot of different faces of wise men.
The list of people that he's embodied, that's the short list. That's like just the most impressive list, but he's had many different incarnations, and he said he has multiple incarnations, but he was always somebody that brought about wisdom in all the different roles that he played. And he's kind of like smiling. He was always male, he was always about medium height, and he had kind of brownish hair, straight nose, and that goatee kind of thing, and brown eyes, and he said he liked that look, and so he always used that look. And if you look at portraits of him, it's all, even people that saw him and those that see him in the etheric, he always looked the same. He said he liked that look.
It looked like Saint Germain manifested Adrienne, because I just noticed she should.
Hello, welcome.
No, I have you guys because they say they open and nobody was here. They say the next week.
We had a little delay.
But it was canceled on the website, because I checked the
Oh,
website,
but
it said
no,
canceled.
but the problem I don't see, I don't check.
Just on September 1. We only missed one, September 2nd, we missed one Sunday service in the interim of the move.
But I'm so happy to
Well, we're happy to have welcome. I say we're light in here. Did anybody was here last night at the fall equinox celebration?
Yeah, there was over 40 people here last night till like 10 o'clock.
Okay, that explains it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the connection with Mount Shasta and St. Michael Archangel with St. Germain and Violet Flame? Is that something?
Saint Germain is telling me he is the keeper of the violet flame, but that doesn't mean he uses it exclusively. It's for all of the angelic realm and all of the ascended masters to use whenever they choose. And Archangel Michael uses the violet flame quite a lot, and he works directly with Archangel Michael, he's telling me.
Does he work with the entities that live in Mount Shasta or underneath the Telos, I think they call it?
He says he works with everybody and anybody who wishes to use the violet flame.
Okay.
He does work with the Toltecs, the people that live, the energies that live beneath the earth's surface.
Right.
Toltecs, yeah, he works with them. But he says that Earth is kind of like his, he's saying it's like his project, it's like one of his favorite things to work with, and the energies here. And he says that we are so malleable to having new information come in that he sees us as like star pupils, people he loves to work with. That's why he's so generous with his information.
How does he use the violet flame?
It's in here, and he's saying that it's part of the embodiment of the heart chakra, because the flame is heart space, energy, and love, but the purple also ties to the crown chakra, and so it says that he works with tanzanite, which is the stone I have in my wedding ring, which unites the wisdom of the heart and the mind, and he said it's the connecting energy force between the crown chakra and the heart that allows us to have etheric wisdom coming in from the universe and connect to our heart space energy so that we can send that out. Is that what you asked? That's what he's...
Purple flame?
Yes, how he uses the purple flame. It's connecting.
It is to connect wisdom and love. That is the purpose of the violet flame. Yeah, and it's here. Did you guys feel? I mean, I could feel it here, igniting when he was giving us the invitation.
There's a lot of miracles and a lot of people who have used it to protect situations or people, and there's a lot of stories that are connected with St. Germain.
Yeah, he says that he's all over the place, creating miracles and interjecting and rescuing. He says he stays busy.
He's a world traveler.
He's a world traveler.
But he travels light.
But he travels light, yes.
Doesn't have to pay for that extra baggage, right?
No extra baggage.
No extra baggage charges.
No. I mean, he says that he adores the human race and where we are right now, and he loves watching us come through the dark ages and into enlightenment. And he sees human beings as having the most incredible potential. And he says that what he admires most about humans is that even in the face of all of the wars and the starvation and the greed and the politics, that we always seem to come through in the end, that there's always redemption, that we always figure it out, that no matter what happens to us, we have this indomitable spirit that somehow in the end is always triumphant, and he just loves to help that energy. He sees us as something magnificent. Any other questions? That was fun. Any other giving envelopes? I'm supposed to do the list of upcoming events, and all I know is the time is not here, but the phone is absolutely ringing off